And we're live. Welcome to episode 214 of the MailleWerX Chainmail Livestream. My name's Sean. I run MailleWerX.com, where you can find all the chainmail themed apparel and accessories that your heart desires. How is everyone doing tonight? What's going on? How's your Wednesday? Happy hump day. There is nothing more exciting than being halfway through the week, I think. Well, at least I used to think that. I don't think that anymore. Or I'm not in a position to where I worry about it right now. That may change, but I'm not subject to the Monday through Friday that other people are. I was for a while. My last job was Monday through Friday, which was killer, right? Set that aside. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, so I worked Monday through Friday, and, hit Wednesday, and I was like, all right, only 2 more days of the week left. You only got 1 day of work left for the week. You get Good Friday off. Congratulations. There you go. That's awesome. I also have Good Friday off, but then I've also had every day off for the past 5 weeks. Not to rub it in, but it's just weird. Like, I've never had this much time off before. And it's not that I have time off. I am working on something that will replace my job, essentially. But, I'm largely just chilling at home. Hey, Barb, how you doing? What's going on? So first things first tonight. I would like to show you what I finished today. What am I doing? There. Oh, that's what I'm doing. All right, so I had this, 9-foot strand of JPL that I made out of these 16 gauge 3/16 rings, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I had this tiny jelly cube made out of the same rings, so I started with that, and then I took the long length of chain and I tore it apart and I made it into this cube here, and it ended up being an okay cube, right? Like, it's floppy, it's, tangible, it's weighty for sure, right? But then at the very end, I ran out of rings, and I want to direct your attention. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. Right here on the edge, I ran out of rings. So I was thinking about it, I was like, where can I find some more rings, right? I was like, I looked and I didn't have any more 16 gauge 3/16 rings, but I have this stack of 18 gauge 3/16. I just doubled them up and it worked perfectly, right? And so it's just kind of, it'd be cooler if they were a different color and stood out a little bit more, but it's just like, it's good, and then just something a little different on the edge there, just to fix it up. What I should have done is I should have taken some of these rings, finished off this side, and then done just this one spot. Maybe I'll work that out later. It doesn't matter. All right. So I am surprised at actually how well this turned out, right? It is a little floppier, right? If you compare the floppiness of the two, this one is a lot less stable. This one is rock solid. Okay. FedEx finally got their shit together and delivered you a new prop. Yay! Congratulations. And hooray for FedEx getting their shit together. Yeah, we usually have respite Fridays and Sundays. Going to be interesting to see if anybody shows up, but you're not holding your breath. What is respite? These over here. Is that right? That looks right. Yeah, okay. Just gonna keep everything a little bit organized. It looks cool, thank you. I think it turned out pretty good. I'm genuinely happy with it. So this bracelet that we were working on the other night is not wanting to play. gets too caught up in the ends here, and I need to loosen it up just a little bit by adding some more rings to it. And this is the one where we started out and we did the Byzantine, but then we switch it over to a 3 and 3 chain to get it through this ring here, or through this focal bead here. Respite is a Canadian thing. But what do you do? When someone comes to stay with your mom, so your sister, and you can go run errands. If not, cancel because of the storm, cancel because of the holiday. Oh, okay, okay. I see what's going on. Like respite care. Right? It'll be easier if I do it this way. Now, what size were these rings? I think they were 19 gauge. Or, yeah, 19 gauge. 5/30 seconds. 97% sure that that was the size we used. Well, I hope your respite care doesn't get canceled, and I hope that you have someone come, right? But I will be honest, when I was working, doing home health stuff, we did not do holidays, but we also didn't do weekends either. You too? Yeah. Yep. There were actually, I did go out and work a few holidays. I don't know if you recall my patient with the back wound. He had a big decubitus ulcer in his back. I think I talked about him a few times, right? They live just right down the street from me. And so I would go check on them. And then I had some people out in the county who had to be seen. And I, you know, depending on the holiday, right? Like if it was New Year's or something, or New Year's Day, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, right? Like I would get holiday pay for going out to see people. And so I didn't mind going out because I would be back home by, I don't know, 11 o'clock or something. So I would go and see people, even though I didn't necessarily have to, right? Really? Oh, come on. You know, like, I'll go get paid for an hour's worth of work on a holiday. 'Cause I'm not doing anything else, and, you know, we're not celebrating till later in the day. Usually I have a shopping list by that point, so I'd go see my patients, get whatever from the store, and then go home. So, but yeah, I didn't have to. Yeah. Someone slicked up these rings. My goal is to never have to work on a holiday again, if I'm being honest. Did I tell you guys that I finally got an unemployment check? Right? I was under the impression that I had started my unemployment process like the week or two after I got my last or like the first or second week of March, right? I don't remember exactly when it was, but it's fairly soon after I got terminated, right? And so I was expecting that all the work I was doing, submitting my work searches to the unemployment website and whatnot, getting all that done, signing up for unemployment, dotting my T's and crossing my I's. I was assuming, because I had been led to believe this, that I would get all those weeks of unemployment that I claimed all at one time, right? But I only got a week's worth of unemployment. It's like, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm going to get... I only got a week's worth of unemployment, and it was for the second week of April. So I don't know if I'm going to get any of the other 5 weeks that I've been waiting for unemployment to kick in. So I need to give them a call. So that's nice. That's nice to have that process. Like, I can knock it out. I kind of understand what I need to do. You know? Makes me feel a little better about things going on. That's sweet. Yeah, yay for monies, exactly. In Canada, you can't collect if you were let go, even if it was wrongful dismissal. How would anyone collect unemployment? Like, how do you collect unemployment in Canada then? They used to do retroactive payments. Must be another delaying tactic designed to get people off the UC system and into whatever sorry job they can find so they can eat. Yeah. Well, I mean, I could probably go find a job, not necessarily one that I wanted, but I'm just confused as to what has occurred here. In the scenario I'm in, right? Where other companies can work with me and accept my medical exemption, but mine can't, right? And I really do, I forgot to call the lawyer today, but I really need to call them and ask them that question. It's like, my company, right, where I do direct patient care, said that it would be a hardship on them if they were to exempt me from getting the stabby, and other people or other companies can accept that, medical exemption. So yeah, gotta call the lawyer back. There, this is much more functional now. Oh, to be blunt, UC is fucking with me. Yeah, no, I 100% believe it. Right. But I'm smart, and I think I can hold out for a little bit until I can either support myself or have to go back and I'll find something else. You don't unless you're seasonal, like construction or something, but you have to have something in writing from the company that laid you off stating that you'll get called back when it gets busy again. Really? That's interesting. So if you're fired or laid off from a job and you want to try and collect unemployment for whatever reason, right? What you're saying is that there's no social safety net like unemployment, or is there something else that you guys do up there? That's very interesting. I did not know that. But then, the older I get, the more I realize I don't know a lot of things. And I'm okay with that. So you guys have universal health care, but you don't have unemployment. that seems odd. And if you quit, you have to prove it was justified. Like, prove to, like, who are you proving it to that it was justified? Are you proving it to someone to collect on unemployment? Like, what do you mean? Or like when you go to your next job, you have to prove it was justified. Like, I quit because, you know. Oh, you do have some form of unemployment, it's just a bugger to get. Okay. Okay. I was getting worried. Not that I'm a big proponent of unemployment. Like, even now, if I didn't have it, I would be alright for the time being. But since I qualify for it, you know, might as well rake in what I can get now. Yeah, you have to prove to the people when you apply for unemployment. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had to do that. And that whole, they called me up and they asked me, like, why I had left the job prior to this one I just left. And I'm just glad I was fired from that job, or left under less than desirable circumstances, because that place sucked. I was working at the jail, and the job and the people I worked with, well, some of the people I worked with were okay, but the bulk of them were not. So, like, I'm glad I don't work there anymore, because that was a miserable experience. It's like, thank you for letting me go. I laughed when I got the phone call saying that I wasn't to come back. It's like, okay, darn. Kick me out the door, please. So what else is happening? I had some friends near the crazy crap that happened in New York yesterday. I had no idea until they were posting. You know, they made like an announcement for everyone to see their posts that, you know, they were okay. Kind of like after you do if a tornado hits your town, you're like, yeah, we're all right. We're, you know, dealing with the situation. I was like, holy crap! I didn't realize that you were anywhere near that situation. I have a generic understanding of where some people live that I am online friends with, but not many of them. There was a shooting in New York, like 9 people shot, or I don't really know. It was like it's on a subway or something, and someone opened fire. So all I know is that the event occurred. I have no idea any of the details. Yeah. Yeah, scary situation. The subway, it's not like there's anywhere you can go, and I don't know if it was on a subway car or in a subway station. So I kept hearing something about 2 undetonated items. I don't know if they were pipe bombs or what, you know. So but yeah, it occurred in New York, and I don't know. I'm sure I have discussed this with you guys before, but I'm very pro-gun, and New York is not pro-gun at all. They're one of the most disarmed states in America. So it's like, I don't know the details, but in general, when something like that happens in unarmed places, there's no one to defend anyone until the police arrive. So the person shooting is just, you know, free to shoot until someone stops them. You're not gun scare the hell out of you? Have you ever shot one? I mean, I'm assuming that you've had some interaction with them. I didn't grow up with them, but I had plenty of friends who did, and I grew up in a quasi-rural area, so all of my neighbors owned firearms. And then I joined the military, and I had firearms exposure there, and then just getting older, I've bought more firearms than I ever expected to own. But in this particular case, armed citizen would have caused more mayhem. The shooter started in one of the subway cars with smoke bombs, so visibility sucked when they started shooting. Yeah. Was it undetonated smoke bombs that he had? Do you know? And then from what I have briefly heard, it wasn't that someone showed up to stop him. Like, he ran and was wearing a gas mask or something. You think there were undetonated bombs, not smoke bombs? Well, I wasn't there, and I can't say yay or nay on what would have stopped him or not, but in general, I'm a proponent of an armed population, so we need to do something about the anger in this country before we tear ourselves apart. Yeah, there's that. Oh, what am I doing? I was working on the wrong end there. It's hard to take time to let that anger dissipate when you have so many people who make a buck fanning the flames of that hatred, right? Like, whether there's a reason for the hatred or not is immaterial, really, because there are plenty of people out there who are more than willing to try and frame things in a manner where they make it look like everybody hates each other, because it benefits them, you know? If it bleeds, it leads, 100%. Which is another interesting component of what's going on as well, because we have activist journalists, and so their spin is one-sided, and it's meant to get people worked up about whatever. And this happens on, this happens on both sides of the political spectrum, or the racial spectrum, or the gender spectrum, whatever, right? It's not actually journalism. It's what was it called in Mark Twain's day? Yellow journalism. Like, that's all it is. On social media is turning into a million little echo chambers to keep the bias connected. Yes. That's why you get on social media, so you can have your ego stroked by people who agree with you. That's what people want. Had the First Amendment frauditors who were just playing batshit crazy. Had the First Amendment frauditors who were just playing. What do you mean? Like, who are the First Amendment frauditors? Is this a Canadian amendment or the US one? Come to social media for the chainmail and kitten memes. Add the first man. Okay. I come to social media. I used to argue about this shit all day long, right? At first, when everything was just Farmville, I didn't want a social media account. I wanted to stay off of it. And I got a Farmville account for Renee so that I could trade gifts with her for her farm or whatever it was. And it didn't take long. To find people who I disagreed with online. And I spent a lot of time arguing and wasting my time. And then I grew up a little bit. Right? And came to my senses and realized that they and I are never going to agree, and so arguing really, there's no point, okay? Whether I'm right or wrong, people argue disingenuously on social media all the time. They obfuscate, they'll outright lie, and then the argument, when it devolves into just pejoratives and name-calling, that's how you know you've won, and the other person will never admit defeat. So, you're really only ever arguing for other people that come along, and if they read your comment or something. But it's not It's not effective in any meaningful manner, really. So took me a while to learn that. It took me a while growing up to stop doing that, and then I realized that, you know, I could put my chainmail on here, and I started focusing on that, and I've been doing that for a couple years now. So if I like a post, or if I agree with the post, I'll like it. I might make a comment here and there. 90% of my feed and in almost all my social media platforms is chainmail or crafters of some kind. Most waste police resources by videoing the police and filming government buildings and being ignorant towards people in general. Because the First Amendment right to record, and they don't have no decency or humanness, just spewing ignorance. Meanwhile, the police are at the scene of an accident, and the police are having to deal with these idiots. Instead, oh, you know what? We have some of those here in Kenosha. We do. They'll go and they'll upload like half a video of a police interaction, and they'll say that, you know, oh, the cop was being abusive or something, but they won't show anything really. They try to get people fired up. I don't know if they're still active. This was a couple years ago that I found out about them. You don't bother arguing on social media, not worth the keystrokes? It's not. There's nothing social about social media, you know, if we're being honest with ourselves, right? Most of my friends don't follow me because of the shit that I post. Why, do you post crazy conspiracy theories or something? Got any new ones? Any good ones? I'm all for police accountability. And I think that the corrupt cops do exist in the world, right? Like, I don't think that anyone could argue against that. They won't show how they're instigated and getting what they deserve. Yeah, that is exactly what the guys here in Kenosha did. Right? Like, if you want to incentivize police to not be corrupt, then, or not take certain actions, then incentivize them to do so, right? So if something comes up and a police officer acted outside of the law or inappropriately, okay, then that police officer goes to trial, whatever. They're found that they were doing something wrong, and then, you know, they have to pay for the damages out of the police pension fund, right? I think you'd see a lot of shit stop real quick if that was the incentive. Police want their pension. I don't blame them. They don't want their pension threatened, and so that incentivizes them to do their job well, right? I don't want them to be afraid of, oh, you post too much? I don't know. I don't, maybe I just don't get your posts in my feed. I see a few of your posts every now and then, but anyway. Yeah, but I have seen the absolute best YouTube channels, Frauder Troll. These guys just roast the guys who do these stupid videos. Nice. Yeah, what the hell was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Something came to mind. I had a thought in my brain. You post a lot of silly stuff, which you then share. Which is the best part of the internet, right? Stuff that makes you laugh. And animal stuff. I had a thought, damn it. gone away. Typical. Something about these First Amendment frauditors, as you're calling them, and double-digit IQs. Don't understand why they're in trouble, because, you know, they're too stupid to understand that what they're doing is special. I don't know. It was a thought. It's gone. The thought will come back as soon as I turn off the camera. 100%. You agree? It's got to be fun. Can't be all serious shit all the time. No, I mean, it can't. Like, it took me a while to realize that I was just doom scrolling for hours on end, getting nothing done, you know? And I don't really limit my social media time in any meaningful way. But I would just be on for hours for no reason, you know, doing nothing, staring at posts. Which is, you know, it's what they want. But funnily enough, right, I would get served ads. They wouldn't have any, I didn't really buy stuff off the internet at the time. And I never bought anything. I would see the ads and I would never click on them. I can't remember the first time I bought something from an ad on Facebook, you know? Like, it wasn't... It was years after I started using the social media. You really need to spend less time staring at your phone. I don't know. See, here in the mornings, I'm on YouTube watching a couple streams about the stock market. In the afternoon, I listen to podcasts. In the evening, or on a break, I might do a little TikTok here and there. Scroll on Facebook for a little while. But when I was working for my last company, I was driving a lot of the time, so I was largely listening to podcasts. But you can use your phone and have it be useful and do productive things with it. So I'm on my phone a ton. Like, I check my store. I check my investments. You know. So, I don't know. I don't feel too bad about the amount of time I'm on my phone, even though I am on it a lot. But I should probably use it less. You still call your phone demon tech? You hate the thing? Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, it really is. Just because there is so much tracking of everything that we do, right? Like, it's ridiculous. Even social media programs that you're not on, right? Like, they'll have a file for you. Remember that happened with Facebook, right? Like, Facebook had a file on everyone. People were like, I don't have a social media account, but they had been mentioned in a picture or something. And so you could look up your information on social media without having an account on there because other people had talked about you. You know? Like that shit is nuts, man. Ooh, I gotta take a break. I did buy a new wrist brace today. My other one was falling apart. The Velcro wouldn't hold. So I had to get a new one, so that's nice. All right, Barb, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate you being here. So I don't know what they're called, right? But they're like a breakfast sausage thing, and they're very similar to bologna, right? Or hot dogs. You remember watching a show called Dark Mirror? There was one episode that horrified you. It was a society built on social media. If you got downvoted for whatever, you could lose your job, your home, any services that you required. Oh, that's China. That is literally their social credit system. Yeah, I definitely would not want to live in that world. And who else was it? I forget his name. He is one of England's finance ministers. And England, the UK, is trying to implement central bank digital currencies. Worst idea ever. And basically what they wanted to do was turn the British pound into a voucher that could be controlled electronically so that you could only be allowed to buy certain things. Like if you were a dissident, you wouldn't be allowed to buy anything, right? And he's trying to get the UK to switch over completely to this. So yeah, I mean, like, it may have been a fictional show that you watched, but it's very much a real thing that governments across the world have implemented. Not too many yet that I am aware of, but China for sure, and I think the UK is coming quickly. I don't have any problem with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin that's decentralized, and not in the hands of the government, right? But essentially a cryptocurrency planned by the government, that's completely centralized, is not something I ever want to participate in, right? And I know that our Federal Reserve has talked about it. They have broached the subject. But I don't know if that is something they plan on ever implementing here. I wouldn't put it past them. Let me put it that way. Come here, you. That's one. Even there are a couple mini cryptocurrencies that are very centralized, right? Like only a few people own them, kind of deal. And the ability to control them is in a small number of hands. Like the second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum. It's decentralized really in name only. So I don't think it's going to stay popular for very long. I could be very wrong because they do have a large network, which is valuable. They have a lot of users, right? Similar to how Facebook is valuable because they have, a couple billion people on the platform, and they can put advertising in front of you. They can utilize their network. Oh, shit. It's not quite the same thing with Ethereum, but it's valuable because people use it. But it's very, very centralized and very much controlled by Vitalik Buterin and his company. I don't know if I should fight putting this back in here or not, because it probably will just slip out again. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, we have enough horribly oppressive governments in the world that we don't need to add CBDCs to everyone's currency and make more horribly oppressive governments. So, and the people in the UK, I have no idea what they are legally allowed to do to prevent that from happening. And honestly, I don't know what people in the States can do to prevent something like that from happening. It's something that they would just implement, and now we'd all have a new way of living or something, Yeah. Found the gravity. Come on. Ow, my eyeball's dry. Alright, so what is coming up this week? I did not get my letter for my package from LegalZoom. hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I don't want to have to wait until Tuesday to get stuff done. I really was hoping I'd have it back by this week and I could get everything set up with Apple and call it a day. It's like, I don't understand why they can't understand that my name is all over MailleWerX and the back pages, and not my name personally, my business name, right? Why they don't understand that my LLC is the runs MailleWerX.com, right? I don't understand why I had to go and get doing business as forms. I think it's ridiculous. Probably legally necessary for them to prevent any kind of liability on their part. It's still annoying. We got the egg kit for decorating eggs this weekend. Usually my kid goes over to his grandma's house and does it, but she didn't have anyone over, so I don't know where the breakdown was in that. And then Sunday, I think we're meeting the family out for breakfast. So we'll go in the morning to church and then take off to brunch. My kids got Friday and Monday off of school, so he's got 2 short weeks back to back. He was upset about having to go to bed earlier. It's like, dude, you play enough video games, man. But I can't convince him of that. To him, he needs to play more video games. It's like, yeah, no, dude. It's nice outside. It's time to go outside and play. You got nothing at all on the calendar for this weekend? Just 3 days of house cleaning and yard work? Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to mow the lawn this weekend. You have no idea how much that enrages me. Like, it really makes me mad. I don't have the, what is it? The patience to deal with yard work, right? I mean, I'll go and do it, but I'm not one of those guys that wants to spend time making his yard look good. Okay? I have far more important things to do in my life than to spend it cutting grass. You don't have that much lawn to mowing. It's probably 20 minutes tops. Jeez. I used to have a push mower for our yard, and we're on... How big is our yard? 1/8 of an acre? maybe. So I used to have a push mower, and I just dealt with it. And our backyard has a slope. And with the first year we moved up here, I broke the forward assist on the lawnmower. And so I was just pushing this heavy ass lawnmower all over the yard. And it would take me probably 4 hours to cut and bag up all the grass and take it to the dump and do all my trimming and weeding and all that crap. Right? Then, after about 3 or 4 years of being here, we got a riding lawnmower. And that took me from about 4 hours of yard work down to 3. And yeah, probably 3 hours of yard work. You know, trimming everything, going around the edges with the push mower, and then using the riding lawnmower to get everything else. So it takes me about 3 hours. And that riding lawnmower is awesome because the bulk of the yard, you know, I can ride around on a lawnmower on, and that is not nearly as exhausting as pushing the damn push mower around. But now we have a push mower that works, so. I just know that I've largely been sitting in this chair for about 5 weeks straight trying to get everything sorted out in my life. And I'm going to go out, and just taking care of the yard is going to kick my ass. So, and you know, of course, now that it rained today, there's going to be a lot of new growth by you know, Friday, Saturday, whenever. You mow, you don't bag clippings, fertilize landscape, or any of that. You kind of have green stuff out there. Yeah. I don't fertilize or water. I don't water the yard. I don't seed it or anything. It does just fine by itself without me having to intervene. It's over enthusiastic about growing. So it's like we have a sprinkler system that I would never use, right? Because I don't care if the grass is green or not, for starters. But when we got the fence put in, the guys that put it in broke the sprinkler system in 2 spots. And I've never fixed it because I'm never going to spend time watering the yard. Like, it rains enough up here. It's not like this is an arid area. So ditto here. If it grows, it grows. If it gets dry, it turns brown. No, yeah. It's like, I just, you know, I have more important shit to do than maintain a yard. All my neighbors, though, they're older. They have, you know, they sit out in their garages, watch sports, drink beer. And, you know, they have stuff that they do, don't get me wrong, but they spend far too much time working on their yards than I'm comfortable with. So, if I get myself set up where I have an income of sorts, I might try and con the neighbor kid into coming and mowing my lawn. Right? He would love to make some money this year. And he's almost as tall as I am. He's skinny as a beanpole. I don't know. I'll ask his mom. Can I put your child to work? And if I do really well, and he doesn't want to do it, I might just flat out hire someone, to be honest. Because I can't spend a whole day focused on the yard. And when you get up and you go out and you get started on the yard, okay, it takes all day. And by the time you're done, you're exhausted. At least, you know, I am. All right, I'm going to pop these two end beads on. Oh, man, those look so good together. Like I don't know. I have a hard enough time focusing on what I'm trying to do, and I struggle enough at what I'm trying to do that whenever I have stuff that takes attention away from what I'm doing, it's hard for me to get back into working on what I'm trying to do, which is a big part of the reason why it took me forever to finish the app for my website, right? Like, it was a big project and it needed for me to sit down and work on it for a few weeks, you know, and then just trying to get it to upload to Google and to Apple. I don't know if I ever would have made it through that if I had to go to work, you know. So here we go. Anyway, it's like I wish I was better at transitioning from one task to the next, but I'm just not. It's like I can work on one thing for a long time. But I can't jump from A to B to C, you know. Come on. There you go. Oh, that ring's stuck. Okay. All right, all these have the same finish on them. All right, they're all super shiny. Almost a mirror polish to them. I learned from a knife maker that a lot of the times you don't want a mirror polish on something, especially a knife, because you're going to use it and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to scratch that mirror polish. Not that I had anything to do with the polishing of these, okay, but they're not quite mirrored, or they're not quite a mirror polish, and I think that's going to be a boon in the long run. All right. one more of these. All right. I am finally, I'm very happy that this particular center bead that I'm using here, that I was finally able to get it to work, because I do really like it. Let's see here. Right, like I was showing you last night. It's got that just kind of like a smooth riverstone texture to it. It's kind of cool. Very, like this could, a man or a woman could wear this and it would look just fine, right? I think it probably maybe a bit more feminine looking, but you know, if I saw it on a guy, I wouldn't question it, you know? Especially a big chunky metal bracelet like this. You see dragon skin? Yeah, kind of, you know. But got to figure it out. It works. It's going to be just fine. Got to work all the kinks out. Come on. All right, and with that. All right, guys. It is just after 10. I do have to get up and take my kid to school in the morning, so I've got to go. Betty bye. Clean this up here. We are churning out a lot of cool stuff lately. Like this one, it's just a skosh too loose for a real good cube, right? But I used up these rings, and now they're not this long chain that I have no idea what to do with. And it's got this cool little, one part of it is kinged with a smaller gauge because I ran out of the rings, and it's, you know, looks kind of cool. All right. The website redesign is almost done, right? And so there is a point that will come soon where I have new designs up and new stuff to look at very, very soon. So be sure to check out MailleWerX.com for all your chainmail themed apparel and accessory needs. And if you guys need anything between now and tomorrow, let me know. All right? You know where to find me. I will talk to all you wonderful people later. You guys have a good night. Bye.